Hey guys, my name is Third Eye and today I'll be answering the question, why did Frank Sinatra release so many albums? And in the process, we will take a look at his most famous albums and analyze the structure of his most popular songs. But before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like my videos, and if you have any idea for a future video about music, comment it down below. Oh, and by the way, look at how my classmate Jose Perez destroyed and raped me in Clash Royale.
Alright, so
Alright, so I made a list with the reasons why Frankie had so many albums, and it all started because, intuitively, when I started listening to his music, I searched for an album to listen to, and when I looked for the list of all his albums, I saw this. So I just picked a random record and found The World We Knew, which is the first entire album I have ever listened from Frank Sinatra. And by the way, I did a review of it, if you're interested. Then the question came to mind, wait, why so many albums? And as I researched, I could find the next reasons. First, his songs were very short, okay? I mean, if you search for basically any album he released in the 50s and in the early 60s, you see that they don't have that many songs. They usually have from 12 to 14 songs, which nowadays is pretty short. And apart from that, all the songs are normally under 3 minutes, which is pretty short as well. The albums also didn't have those many singles, as they were not promoted for a long time. Most of the albums he released in his golden era have an average of like 1 single per album. And as they were pretty short, you could also guess that they were easily and fastly made. And that is because of a few reasons. First, they all had the same style. Well, almost all Frank Sinatra albums had the same style, except only a few. These styles were the swing and the jazz. And because they were included in almost all his songs, you could therefore say that they're really similar. And that is in fact true. I personally feel like I'm listening to a 20-minute song whenever I'm listening to a Frank Sinatra album, because the songs are really similar, which is not necessarily something bad. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it does bother other people. And of course, there are some albums that have different styles, like ballads, for example the Only the Lonely album, but the majority had those styles. And also because he recorded most of his songs in one take. And the reason behind that is because Frank never really found an exact flow for his songs. He always rambled on the instrumental he was given, because he didn't write most of his lyrics, he was simply the voice. Well, he was also talented in other things, but his main talent related to music was singing. He rambled on the instrumental by changing the flow continuously and changing the words as he wanted to. This can be recognized in his live performances, where he sometimes changed the lyrics, the flow, and even sometimes the tempo of his own songs.
Fly me to the moon, let me play up there with those stars. Let me see what life is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me.
I guess he did that because for him the most important thing was the vocal performance, which came literally natural for him. He didn't even try and sounded beautiful. That made him record his songs really fast, because he usually didn't read and memorize the lyrics. He just knew what he was gonna sing about and changed the words as he wanted to. Another reason is that in most of his songs, he repeated the chorus several times or even kept the exact same flow for the whole song. And that didn't matter that much, because the songs were like 2 minutes long. And last, he recycled some songs. And what I mean by that is that he included 1 or 2 songs that he had previously included in one album in another album. My example for this is the song Lean Baby, which is in 2 different albums from him, Swing Easy from 1954 and Point of No Return from 1962. All the stuff that I have mentioned made the sessions of each album take approximately a month. And as an interesting fact, not a lot of people were involved in the process of making these albums. There were like 10 people involved for each album. That's interesting. Now let's analyze some songs. As I mentioned earlier, he kept the same flow for the entire song, or the majority of it, and to support that I got the previously mentioned song Lean Baby as an example. Lean Baby starts with a vocal introduction, and then the chorus with a really catchy flow.
My lean baby, tall and thin, 5'7", bones and skin.
Then the first verse contains a different flow, but it's really short.
She's slender, but she's tender. She makes my heart surrender.
Then the chorus comes again and then again, but this time he sings higher and with a lot more vocal energy.
My lean baby, strange to see, and all that nothing, it belongs to me.
Later on, the second verse comes in, same flow as the first one and same length, and finally the ending chorus, which has the same energy as the first one, so it feels like he comes back to the same from the start. And the final bit, the same vocal warming as in the beginning, but this time for the end. Well, that specific structure is not used again in a Frank Sinatra song, but the rest of his songs have really similar ones. For example, the song South of the Border. No, not that one, this one. This one has the same structure, but has an instrumental break at the end. And a vocal exercise by Frankie at the very end. Or Fly Me to the Moon, a little shorter in structure, and with an instrumental break at the middle. Or in Strangers in the Night as well, where there's an instrumental break in the middle, and he repeated the chorus at the end with more energy than at the beginning. He also uses a vocal exercise at the very end, like in Lean Baby or South of the Border. This time it's the famous do do be da do do da be da do do do. Well, and I could be naming more and more examples, because he had like a million songs, but then the video would be ages long. Well, the most important thing that I told with those examples is that he had several elements that he could use in his songs, and he used them in one song or the other, making different and new combinations. Take a listen to most of his songs, and you will end up with the same conclusion as me, hopefully. And that was it for this week's video. I'm looking forward to creating a new channel where I would be uploading videos with my face about other music genres like rap and hip-hop, doing reviews of albums and EPs of these genres, and also talking about other topics but music, like video games. Would you guys be interested in watching that channel? Please comment down below. And with all that said, bye, see you around.